Say goodbye to the Department of Education. And what a run it had. Did Trump just abolish the Department of Education? Is that what happened? Now, technically, he is not capable, as the president, to simply abolishing the department. That would take an act of Congress, and Congress is probably not going to do it. That being said, if they were to do it, I'd be all for it. I don't think it's given us our money's worth. I don't think it has improved education in any way, shape, or form. And I also think that most people are unaware of just how little the Department of Education actually does, while making education no better, but seemingly more expensive ever since the Department of Education in the 1970s. Test scores have not gone up. People are definitely not getting smarter or more educated. And yet, education costs continue to rise. They rise. We don't get anything for it, so get rid of it. Now, what in fact did Donald Trump do? Well, he signed a long-awaited executive order that attempts to begin the dismantling of the Department of Education. But since only Congress can officially abolish the department, it's unclear how much effect Trump's order will have on the status quo. Now, this is, in fact, the major objection I think most reasonable people have to the entire DOGE initiative. Streamlining government is all well and good, but if you're doing it in such a way that the next person who's president can simply sign executive orders countering yours and ramp everything back up, is it actually going to change anything, or is it just a speed bump? If it is a speed bump, again, better than nothing. Better than just, flying headlong down the wrong path at, breakneck speed. I would like a speed bump if that's all we can do. I would rather there to be an alternative. I would rather no, you know what? We can actually hit the brakes. We can park, turn around, hit reverse, go in the other direction, and be better off. But I do believe that the dismantling of these things, firing all of these people, if nothing else, it's a legitimate speed bump. It is a legitimate obstacle to reforming these inefficient, ineffective departments that will curtail the next president. If they're Democratic, Gavin Newsom is president in 4 years. He doesn't get to, ram back the Department of Education right back where it was, doing exactly the same things with the same speed and alacrity that it can be dismantled. The experiment of controlling American education through federal programs and dollars, and the unaccountable bureaucracy those programs and dollars support, has plainly failed our children, our teachers, and our families. The executive order reads, while the Department of Education does not educate anyone, it maintains a public relations office that includes over 80 staffers at a cost of more than $10 million per year. Now, is $10 million a drop in the bucket to the entire federal budget? Barely a drop in the bucket. But hey, that's $10 million that American taxpayers probably want back in their pockets, or being put to use for something we get value out of. The Public Relations Office for the Department of Education? Yeah, we don't need that. The order directs Secretary of Education Linda McMahon, which is hilarious, to, with the maximum extent appropriate and permitted by law, nothing illegal, don't do anything illegal, take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education. While the directive is vague, actions McMahon has already taken, specifically firing or buying out half the department's staff, suggest how she might attempt to grind the department's functions to a halt. And to be perfectly honest, look, this is the whole idea of like a government shutdown hurts everybody. And it's like, well, not everybody. Maybe, I mean, certainly federal workers and I guess people on specific plans that are being benefited by these, government programs. Okay, yeah. But to say everybody is hurt by a government shutdown, no, it's just not the case. So these people are going to get fired. They're going to get bought out. And we're going to slow it down. We're going to stop the Department of Education, which again, does not really educate anybody. It makes mandates. And those mandates require administrators, and administrators get hired onto schools, and school budgets go up. And the administrators do not educate, shockingly. McMahon is also light on specifics. In a Thursday statement, she assured Americans that closing the department does not mean cutting off funds from those who depend on them. We will continue to support K-12 students, students with special needs, college student borrowers, and others who rely on essential programs. But she also argued that taxpayers will no longer be burdened with tens of billions of dollars of waste on progressive social experiments and obsolete programs. K-12 and college students will be relieved of the drudgery caused by administrative burdens and positioned to achieve success in a future career they love. Now, this is a beautiful statement because the administrative burdens are the things that are raising budgets. They are the reason why colleges are so exceedingly expensive. They are so exceedingly expensive because you've got federal grant money, FAFSA, that basically guarantees that if you get into a college, you can pay for it through a loan. Now, you can't actually necessarily pay for that loan because you might not make that money back if you get a degree in something that doesn't make money or you don't get a job for whatever reason. But the college is guaranteed to get paid if they take you. So they're incentivized to make you want to come to that school, not necessarily for an education, for their incredible Lazy River donut experience. And you know what? The Lazy River donut experiment is funded by your tax dollars. And then once the Lazy River donut experience is paid off, well, hey, we raised our tuition costs to cover that. I don't want to drop our costs, so we'll hire some new people to administrate the Lazy River donut experience and to make it really, really great, incredible. And that will allow us to employ people. It's incredible. What does this have to do with me learning math? The Lazy River donut experience is pivotal to your educational journey here at University of Bullshit. While it remains to be seen whether Trump's orders will actually functionally abolish the Department of Education, should Congress summon the will to legally dissolve the department, there's little reason to worry about the state of K-12 schools. True, very accurate. The vast majority of K-12 educational funding comes from state and local sources. Yes, indeed, correct. Instead, the Department of Education is primarily concerned with running the federal student loan program. Trump's order frames the department's $1.6 trillion loan portfolio as making the department roughly the size of one of the nation's largest banks. And again, the federal student loan program, I understand that people want to go to college, and it might even be worthwhile for everyone to go to college. But also, if everyone goes to college and everyone has a college degree, the incentive for people to have a college degree disappears because it is no longer setting you apart from anyone else because now everybody has a bachelor's degree. And if the federal student loan program also extends to master's programs, well, now everyone has a master's degree and now everyone has a PhD. And now if you don't have those things, you're completely just shut out of the job market. Who benefits from all of that? Certainly not employers. They're not getting people who are better educated all of a sudden. students don't benefit. They have to take out huge, giant student loans that are crippling them forever. They can never discharge through any means other than death. And, oh wait, the colleges, they benefit, I guess. Huh. They get more money. That's weird. The Department of Education has entrenched the education bureaucracy and sought to convince America that federal control over education is beneficial. The order states, closing the Department of Education would provide children and their families the opportunity to escape a system that is failing them. Again, I think this is perhaps an overcorrection, but it's a move in the right direction. I'll be totally honest, I do think there is a need to perhaps make college more expensive and more exclusive and get a lot of people that, to be perfectly honest, should not be spending $200,000 of, their parents' money or their future selves' money to get an education in something that's not necessarily going to benefit them. Why wouldn't you just, make 10 grand over that 4 years doing an apprenticeship, doing an internship, learning a trade, or just like working at McDonald's? Like, to be perfectly honest, you're going to have a better head on your shoulders after 4 years at a fast food restaurant than 4 years at most colleges. You're going to be more common sense smart than the you that went to college. But I don't know. Am I wrong? How stupid am I? Please tell me in the comments. I would love to know. Other than that, though, bye-bye to the Department of Education. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you very much for your time and attention. And I shall say farewell for now.